Guys, say hi. Say hi.
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 I have a YouTube channel, Bison, yeah.
Go subscribe to him. He's on my, I put him under friends on my channel page, so do that.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
I better start a YouTube channel.
Yeah, dude, start the story. We're reading No Sleep Stories.
So, should I just restart the story? Because you guys had to, restart your computer, and then the people that are actually watching this had, half of it cut out.
Yeah. If you want to.
Alright. The previous tenant of my new flat left a survival guide. I'm not sure I want to live here anymore. I moved in with my boyfriend yesterday. We've been together for 5 years now, and we're old enough to settle down and finally leave our parents' house. We just turned 24 and I'm 22. He's the love of my life. His name is Jamie, and I couldn't be happier to be living with him.
Hi, Jamie.
When we decided to make the leap, we spent 2 months looking at flats and houses. We couldn't afford to buy yet, so renting was our only option, but the prices were astronomical. For our budget, would be lucky to get a box room and a stove. Jamie works for a 24-hour fast food restaurant, and I'm training to be a teacher. The early stages of training don't pay much, and I own a lot in student loans, so finances are tough. We'd almost given up hope until we found our flat. It's nothing special, but to us it was a palace. A spacious 2-bedroom apartment with views of a city park, a balcony, and local conveniences. It was in a tower block and a not-so-nice area, but neither of us had been wealthy growing up, so we weren't fussy. We were just grateful to be together. The advert was sweetened by the deposit-free option, an open-ended tenancy. The landlord was happy to sign a 5-year contract if we wanted. That sort of thing never happens in the city. We were told that along with no deposit, we would also have no inspections, but would be liable to pay for any damage when we ended the tenancy. I never heard anything quite like it. We knew that for our budget and location, we weren't going to get any better. We snapped up the place fast, not even bothering to view it. It felt like our only chance. Move-in day rolled around quickly, and yesterday we got the keys to our first home together. It was such a sudden feeling. The day was chaos, getting our stuff in and up in the lift. We were in flat number 42 on the 7th floor. The items we couldn't get in the lift. Sorry, I'm bad at it. The items we couldn't get in the lift had to be taken up all the stairs by the removal men. I think they were grateful we weren't any higher, but I still wish we had been able to give them a better tip. In the evening, we settled down on our second-hand sofa, given to us by a cousin of a friend, and watched some TV. We smoked cigarettes on the balcony looking at the park and fell asleep on our mattress.
Oh no, a smoker.
Super early because we had no energy to put the bed together yet, and Jamie had worked at a hideous time of the morning.
RIP.
We slept soundly last night. I felt safe and happy. I don't think that feeling is coming back anytime soon. It's all due to the note I had this morning. I found it in the kitchen, having a coffee. Hours after Jamie had left to his early shift at work. It was in one of the cupboards that were fixed to the wall. There were a bunch of useful items from the previous tenant. Spare keys to the flat, a set of tiny keys that locked and unlocked the windows, necessary for those with kids this high up, spare smoke alarm batteries, and folded up piece of paper. The note was handwritten and with a new occupier of flat 42 in beautiful cursive on the blank side. I opened it up and sat down to read. I can't really describe it to you, so I'm going to copy it out below. Dear new occupier, firstly, welcome to your new home. I lived here before you for 35 years with my husband. Fortunately, he had an instant hand home recently that I'd rather not discuss that claimed his life. My sister has now decided I can't keep up with the demands of the property and has insisted that I move in with her and her husband. I was reluctant at first, but the stairs do kill me at my age. Without Bernie, it's filled with sadness. Anyway, Bernie Sanders.
Hey.
Why do I both make that joke?
No, Bernie. It's filled with Sanders.
It's Bernie Sadness. It's not even that funny.
Oh, Bernie Sanders.
My life in a nutshell.
Bernie Sadness 2021.
Bernie Sanders is your life in a nutshell.
Bernie Sanders for world leader. Alright, continue.
Anyway, when you've lived somewhere for as long as I have, it feels like a person that you know. You understand its personality, what makes it tick. I thought it was probably pertinent that I impart some of that knowledge on you. It's a wonderful home, honestly.
Can you
I've lived
hear
through
me?
the. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can hear
Are
you.
you still talking?
Yeah. What?
What's
Hold
going on?
I'm cutting out.
So how's your day?
Technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Please, please keep watching. I need the money for my bedroom.
For my Epic Gamer PC.
My Epic Gamer setup, please. Epic Gamers, I need the credit card number.
Go downstairs, look in your mom's credit card, and comment the
I need-
numbers below.
I need all the numbers on the front and the back, please, for my Epic Gamers. Don't. I swear to God. For legal reasons, that's a joke.
For legal reasons, that's a joke. For legal reasons, that's a joke.
Sorry.
You need some help.
Stop. Get some help. Alright, where were we?
Alright, is everyone here?
Bryson?
Bison?
I mean,
No.
Bison?
I'm not here.
Okay.
You're not? Alright, good. Anyway,
Good.
when you've lived somewhere as long as... Oh, wait, okay. It's a
What the
wonderful home, honestly. I've lived through best and worst years, and leaving it behind is very emotional. But if you are to survive and get the best out of it, then there are some steps you need to follow.
What?
The landlord will never bother you. He doesn't visit, or call, or communicate in any way. But make sure to pay your rent in a timely fashion anyways. I've only dealt with him once in the 35 years, and let's just say never missed another rent day. Any repairs required, you speak to the agent you rented the place with. Do not use the communal lift between 1:11 and 3:33 a.m. Just don't do it. This step is vital if you are to have a happy life here. This really is life or death. Don't do it. This has cost me and many others in the building greatly, and I would rather not elaborate on why you shouldn't do this. Just please don't do it. I cannot stress this enough.
What?
When you hear the strange animal noises coming from flat 48, don't question it. Mr. Prentice lives there, and he's a lovely chap. Don't be afraid to say hello to him in the corridor or on the stairs. He's old school, so he never risks the lift. But whatever you do, don't check on him when you hear the noises. You'll know when you hear them. Number 4. If you ever come across a window cleaner on the balcony, ignore him. He may seem like the nicest fellow you've ever had trying to sell you something at the door, but it really is best that you don't engage. He will go away if you ignore him, but he tries pretty hard the first few times, so you'll need some resilience. Whatever you do, don't offer him anything. No money and no hot drink. What? Don't leave food.
Tell the story. It's mystery.
Yes.
Shut
Don't just say what? Oh,
This is none of your business.
every second. Also,
Holding my laptop like a pizza.
alright.
Continue.
Don't leave food scraps out. Bin or refrigerate them immediately. If you have small animals, it is imperative that you watch them eat and take away any leftover food immediately after they are done. This and Rule 2 go hand in hand. The things forage all day and seem to really love animal feed. You don't want them in your flat, I promise. You can leave what you want out between 1:11 and 3:33 a.m. So you may want to feed your pets then.
Wait, what things?
I don't know. It's just the things.
Alright,
Nutty?
don't communicate.
Number 6. Don't communicate with any neighbors who claim to come from flats 65 to 72. These flats suffered a fire in the late 80s that devastated the whole floor. All the residents died in their homes. The building was mostly council-owned at the time, and they never bothered to renovate the flats. They've been empty ever since. But every now and again, someone will knock at your door claiming to live in one of these flats and ask to borrow some sugar. They will seem entirely average, but you must shut and lock the door manually. I installed 2 extra security bolts to avoid those friggers. I don't like to swear, but at my age, they are fruitless. Also, I'm echoing again.
Who's echoing?
I'm echoing.
I don't know.
Ah!
I know it's not me.
Probably Dalton.
What? Not me. I'm the.
If you hear the echo, that means it's you.
No, I hear myself echoing.
I think it's Dalton.
It's not me.
Wait, I think it's back. It's better.
Alright, we're good.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. I haven't even done anything. How
Well, it's back. It's done now. So
Whatever. It doesn't matter. It's not me though. Trust me, my viewers will know. Even if you guys are my only viewers.
Shut.
Number 7. Oh wait, god dang it! I started show's voice. Number 7. Simple one for you here.
Burger King foot lettuce.
Burger King foot lettuce. The last thing you want, your Burger King Kurger.
Kurger. Oh yes.
Kurger.
I love my Burger King Kurger.
My burger.
Okay, continue the story. Continue the story.
Number 7. Simple one for you here. Keep a weapon in your trim. Sometimes you follow all these steps and something still slips through the net. Better to be safe than sorry. Number 8. The building has a committee that will try and get you to join. It's one of those neighbors groups about improving living conditions for all residents. It's a nice group, and the lady who runs it, Terry E. from Flat 26, is a fantastic neighbor. By all means, get involved, but I wouldn't recommend babysitting Terry's 2 children. She'll ask you because the poor woman needs a break, but if you accept, don't say I didn't warn you. Number 9. Stray hairless cats sometimes roam in the hallway. What the hell?
Ugh, the gremlins.
Yeah. I know they're supposed to be special, expensive breed, but they don't belong to anyone. They're mostly harmless, but don't pick them up. Not unless you see one of those neighbors that claim to live in 65 to 72. Then grab the cat and lock it inside with you. It'll burn your skin a little, but the cats are friendly, and I wouldn't want to see them hurt.
Wait, what?
I don't know.
Mystery.
This is so
What the hell?
weird and vague.
Okay, number
Bad.
10.
I'm sure all the questions will get answered after the questions. Wait,
Sure.
The rules.
Yeah,
I'm sure all of your questions will be answered after the questions. I mean, technically,
who else really wanted to meet the neighbors from 56 and 72?
65
not
to
me.
72.
I do.
Yeah, I just like a really nice people.
I bring them a really nice pie.
Number 10. There is no way to fix. Number 10.
No.
That was on
There's
purpose.
no way to fix the damp patch on the ceiling in the bedroom. Sometimes it will turn a deep crimson and look quite concerning.
What?
But please try not to be alarmed. It doesn't drip, it doesn't get any bigger, and it's been there longer than I have. The landlord won't budge on it, according to the agents.
Oh.
According to the agents, I flagged it many times, even called the police at the first night to change color. But it was a waste of time, and it will be for you too. It's best to ignore it. Number 11. You can trust the postman. His name is Ian Flanders, and he's
That's
been
totally
postman
blood.
since I moved in. He has his own key to the main door and delivers post to the door every morning at 8:54. I can't include everything here, or it would become a novel, but if you have any questions, Ian will help you.
Ian.
Finally, no, it's Ian.
I know, but you said Ian first.
Well, now it's
Ian from the game.
Continue.
Continue.
Number 12. Finally, the perfume. Alright, sorry. Alright, number 12. Finally,
Hold on,
the first.
Sorry, I know I will let you continue the story, but I really like how it's like progressively getting darker here where I live. Like clouds are going in as you read the story. So.
Same here.
Someone from 65 to 72 flats will appear and they'll be like, "Hi."
Also, I have to go for a while at 4.
What?
What time is it?
But it's 3:47.
Ah!
I said that to you earlier, Sam. You just
Yeah,
decided
well, I
not to listen.
What? Fuck.
Alright, finally, the first few weeks are the worst. You'll feel like you've made a mistake. I'm sure reading this you already do, but if you can get through the first few weeks, it's a lovely block to live in. Even property has its quirks, and this one is a little extra special, but you can be truly happy here if you just take my advice. I wish you all the best, I really do. Yours truly, Mrs. Prudence Hemmings. I didn't really know what to think after reading the note. Hopefully it was some sort of joke, but the agent had said the previous tenant was an elderly lady, and I can't see anyone named Prudence Hemmings attempting to play practical jokes on someone they'd never met.
Prudence.
That's fair.
There were also parts of the
It could
note
be a fake name.
Oh yeah, like some 6-year-old.
Prudence, Prudence, the 6-year-old.
Sexy-year-old.
A 6-year-old? What? No, it's so bad.
Demonetized now. You're
That's what it sounded like you said.
demonetized. Well, no, he's been demonetized.
Oh, rip me.
For legal reasons, that was a joke.
For legal reasons, that was
No,
a
it
joke.
You have no right to say that.
I have many rights. I know my rights. I have the freedom of speech. I can talk whenever I want. Alright, anyways. I don't really, there were also parts of the note I couldn't disprove. There was indeed a large damp patch above a bed that me and Jamie had already discussed reporting. No crimson, but it definitely existed. I had also
That's a
commented
thumbnail.
on the beautiful Sphinx cat roaming the halls as we were moving it. I started to get seriously freaked out. Our dream, our beautiful little home, had just become a source of fear and confusion. I checked the time and it was 9:14. Damn it! Out of time to catch postman Ian. When I opened the door to check, sure enough, 2 letters addressed to Mrs. Hemmings sat on the doorstep. At about 11:15, my worst fears were truly confirmed when a friendly, middle-aged looking man carrying a window cleaning equipment knocked on my balcony door. I ignored him. I didn't want to risk until I spoken to Jamie, showing him the note. I texted him already to rush home. I felt bad, and as the man wrapped his knuckles against the door for over 10 minutes. But honestly, the longer it went on, the more I was terrified.
Yes.
Windows
Please
were
go away.
sparkling, and the dude for lack.
Wait, what was that? What was that last part?
The windows were sparkling, and due to our lack of curtains, I couldn't even hide from his gaze. I felt so exposed. He stayed there for a total of 30 minutes exactly, and never once did he stop looking. Oh my god! Or knocking. He sounded the occasional ultra-friendly line or humble request for a bedroom into the heat through the door, but I did my best to avoid eye contact. When he finally left, I looked outside every window in the flat, but I couldn't see him on any of the... I just heard someone leave a call. What?
Who was it? I think, Bryson just left.
Yeah, Bryson just left.
Oh, come on.
I'll wait for him.
Oh, wait, he's here.
Oh, wait. Alright. Is he?
Wait, why does it say colon is dumb? Bryson, why is it on your, like, your tag thing? It says colon is dumb.
Also, I think he's back.
Can you go back? You, like, sentences? Sorry, I got disconnected.
Okay,
It's hard to hear you.
Yeah, all of a sudden I can barely
Oh, yeah, I
hear you.
just changed.
Why
Um,
is Sam muted?
I'm not...
This is finally starting to get creepy.
Yeah, this is like the one
not
spooky thing that's
muted, what?
happening.
Wait, guys, can you hear me?
Is Sam muted for you guys
Yeah,
too?
I can see you. I can hear him.
I can hear him too, but Bryson's
Yeah.
kind of hard to hear.
Yeah, Bryson's
Yeah.
pretty hard to hear, and I'm
I can't hear
apparently...
Sam. Hold on.
Sam's not muted.
Yeah, I'm not...
I'm like, I can
I'm
mute.
muted, guys!
I'm mute for some reason. Dang, that's
Weird. Okay,
Okay, Bryson, don't talk because you sound weird. Yeah, don't talk.
Okay.
Weirdo.
Let's go back a few
Okay.
sentences quick.
My windows were sparkling. Is that... Did you hear that part?
It was more. There's well, he left.
Oh, I know, but he just said he heard that part. Because I stopped reading as soon as I heard him leave. Alright.
Oh,
My windows were sparkling.
Yeah, you can
Due
read
to
from there. That's fine.
our lack of curtains, I couldn't even hide from his gaze. I felt so exposed. He stayed there for a total of 30 minutes exactly, and never once did he stop looking at me or knocking. He shouted the occasional ultra-friendly line or humble request
Oh,
for a
already said
beverage in the heat through the door, but I did my best to avoid eye contact. When he finally left, I looked outside every window in the flat, but I couldn't see him on any of the other balconies or see any equipment suggesting he was around. He had vanished completely. Jamie still hadn't texted me back. He must have been having a rough shift. It was a Friday and they were always busy. It wasn't often that he didn't reply. He was due home in around an hour anyway. I read the note, probably hundreds of times over. I tortured myself writing it for the next hour, desperately waiting for Jamie to come through the door to tell me it was all crazy and I should relax. I hoped for that so much. But Jamie never came.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh shit.
His demonetized. His shift should have finished around midday, but by 2 p.m. he still wasn't home. I panicked, I cried, I left over 100 voice messages on his phone, but got nowhere. He finally decided it had been long enough that calling his work wouldn't embarrass him, and his boss told me that he hadn't turned up for his shift.
What?
I thought about it. What could have happened? And then it hit me. Jamie's shift started at 4 a.m. today. It would have I've left the flat at 3:15 and taken the lift down the stairs. I didn't know what to do. I've tried to convince myself it was all just a big joke. Maybe Jamie, he wrote the note and got his boss in on it. A voice in my head kept telling me that he couldn't write like that, and if he tried, but I had an attempt to fool myself. It's getting late and he still isn't home. What if it's all true? I think we made a big mistake.
Guys, there's like 3 extra things. Should we read them?
What?
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. We can't just have a...
Oh, well then I don't have enough stories for like 1 story. Alright, well which one are we gonna read? The next steps? What happened after that?
Yeah, of course.
I think I made a mix. Okay, hold on, I'm gonna click this one.
Alright, I can read the next one if you guys want, or someone else can. I'd rather not have to talk, though.
I'd rather not.
Okay, well, it can't be me. So, it's either Dalton, or...
Oh my god!
What?
I clicked and there's so many posts! Holy there's multiple storylines!
Dude, did you put on the I think I made a big mistake? Dude, I think that's just a thing. Don't go there. Just go to just go to,
my next steps.
Okay. God damn.
Then we'll do, how it went.
Oh my god, this is longer!
Alright,
Holy
so,
crap, it is longer.
So who wants to read this one?
Sure, why don't I?
Is Bryson's voice still weird?
I don't know.
Okay, yeah, your voice is still weird, so we'll have someone else.
I'll read it.
Dalton.
Me!
Dalton, okay.
Oh god damn it. Hold on.
So, you're at the one after how it started, right?
Okay, so I think I'm going to need more than a guide. Right?
Yep.
Wait. So much has happened in the last 24 hours. I'm so stressed, and I've barely slept since I discovered that Jamie was missing. It started to make me...
At all?
I don't fucking... It started to make me feeling a little twitchy, but I thought I'd better update you guys. I was overwhelmed with all the suggestions you gave me, and have taken more than a few of them on board. I'm definitely going to be getting a huge planter full of sage for the balcony, and I did a spill. Damn it. Dyslexia! I did spill a little salt on my doorway. I'm sorry to disappoint, but that didn't help at all. There's nothing that I'm following quite like Mr. Hemming's rules. I've followed them to the letter so far, and lo and behold, I'm still alive. That's not to say it hasn't been tough. It's... It? Does that say it?
I think it...
I'll start from the beginning.
Start from... whatever. I was going crazy.
If you want Tatum to read it, that's fine.
Yeah, my dumb, stupid, dyslexic brain doesn't...
I have to go 3 minutes.
Damn it!
Dude, just try to read it and then I'll take it.
Guys, I have an idea.
What?
How about we do a 2-parter? Today's video is going to be part 1. Tomorrow's video is going to be part 2.
Okay, but let's end after this one, and then it'll be our slash, because I wanted to do this a lot longer than we have, and maybe we can continue doing it after Tatum has to go.
Okay.
I might be able to just like listen to you guys in the car.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Then Tatum, you should just read this one because Dalton has dyslexia, so.
My brain go
hard.
poof.
Okay. I was going crazy. In a few hours, In a few hours after my last post, Jamie still hadn't returned. He had been gone for almost 24 hours. His work have called me multiple times. I don't know what to say, so I just keep ghosting the calls. I was bang in the middle of the danger time when I decided to check the lift. Had to be my first step, but I wasn't going to break that rule. I waited. I waited desperately for 3:34 to come, and I'm ashamed to say that when it did, I remained paralyzed to our sofa for almost half an hour before I found the nerve to leave the flat. It was 4:02 when I finally reached the lift. The lift in this building is old and rickety. It hasn't been updated in a very long time, and it looks like it's been here for as long as the building. Its big clunky buttons stared back at me as I glared at them, hoping for some sort of answer or clue. My heart thumped, and I was overcome with a feeling of dread, but nothing came of any of it. It was hopeless. I stepped inside the lift, rode it up and down a few floors, and searched the entire perimeter with a phone torch for anything I could find. I found nothing.
Oh no, she's British.
Oh yes, phone torch. Jamie had completely disappeared. Sobbing and exhausted, I rode back to floor 7 and turned my key in flat 42. The perfect home that felt like anything but a home at that point.
Time to get a new husband.
I sat at the cheap, flat-packed dining table we managed to put together on movie in day and cried, my hands shaking as I held my phone. I was flitting? What?
Wait, where? Hold on.
I was fiddling.
Oh, fiddling. Between reading all of your comments and was contemplating
I'm not sure if that was
for an hour.
Fiddling, but whatever.
Who cares?
Wait, where is this?
But I decided to call my friend Georgia instead. I needed a real person here. Things were so crazy, I wasn't sure the police would have been able to help with what little information I had. But I knew I needed to sound it out with someone. I'll spare you the details again, but I told her everything. She promised she'd be in the late morning. She had to take her younger brother to school. I waited anxiously, not before arming every room exactly as advised, but I knew it. I looked at the clock, and it was 8:23. Oh, before I knew it, I looked at the clock, and it was 8:23. I had around an hour and a half until the postman was due to show up. There was no way I was missing him today. I stood by the door, looking vacantly at the wood, like someone was in a film who was possessed.
You're definitely possessed.
The exhaustion was really setting it in, but Jamie was all I could think of. Pure adrenaline was keeping me standing. Just so you know, I'm an awful reader. At 8:52, I opened the door. The next 2 minutes were the longest of my life, but when I saw him, a wave of relief swept my entire body. Right on cue. 8:54, the postman. Ian Flanders stood in front of me. A smile that had barely hid his concern covering his younger than expected face. He didn't look old enough to have been a postman for over 35 years, but I was too distracted by the answers that I needed from him to care. "You must be the new tenant," he stated, but in a way that sounded like a question. I struggled with my answer, so I got to the point. "Miss Hemmings left you a note. She said to speak with you can I come in here? Can I come in, dear? We need to chat." I ushered Ian in, my hands still shaking as I flapped them in the direction of the sofa, gesturing for him to sit down, and I shoved the now slightly crumpled note into his lap and waited. "I'm glad Piers still thinks highly of me. I will miss that old girl," he said with a coy smile as he reached the end of the note. "Can you help me or not?" I had no time for his ego trip over a moved-on neighbor. "I can help, but I can't stop for long since it'll have to be quick. I've walked these halls delivering the post for 40 years. I've seen it all. Everything Piers mentioned and more. What do you need to know?" he said. Ian was nothing like I expected. The note made me feel like he was going to be a kindly, old, granted type of figure, but I couldn't have been more wrong. The postman Ian spoke with a thick city accent and wore a heavy gold chain around his tattooed neck. He had
Whenever
dyed
someone
his
talks,
gray
we should
hair
have a different voice.
to polished black.
My name is Jeremy.
My name's yes.
My name is Jeremy.
His
I don't
what's
know
that word? I can't. What's that word?
Where?
His demeanor. His demeanor.
Wait, where? God damn it, me.
Yeah, demeanor. Yeah. His demeanor was like, alright.
Did it?
he die? Did Tayden die?
What? Hello? Oh, okay.
Tayden!
Rip.
Tayden!
He said he had to go at 4, so he's probably just gone.
He just disappeared.
Oh, he's dead. Spooky. Hell yeah, I love content. Woo! 3 a.m. gone wrong.
Someone dies while reading scary stories.
My friend died. Give me money.
Oh wait, no, I demonetized you because I said died.
Oh no, he done did a die.
He done did a die.
He done did a die.
Okay.
He done did a die.
Alright. His demeanor was thankfully non-threatening. His demeanor was thankfully non-threatening, but extraordinarily cocky. He was the sort of man I imagined to be in a betting shop, rubbing his grubby hands on notes as he bragged over a win. He didn't ask it, as he lit a cigarette in my living room. I didn't question it. We would usually smoke outside, and I wasn't going to argue over technicalities. I grabbed a bowl for the ash and lit one too. Let's start with things in the lift. My boyfriend was missing, and he took the lift at 3:15 over 24 hours. He hadn't got this note yet. I haven't heard from him since. I need to get him back. I barked at him as if the louder I spoke, the more I could influence his answer, but nothing prepared me for what he said. His skin turned pale, and his harsh-looking face became more pathetic as he explained. He's dead, love. Forget about him now. Only one person has ever came back from the lift at that time of night, and it was Puree's herself. After witnessing it, those creatures ripping their victim apart, poor Puree was traumatized. Your boy is gone. Let go and follow the rules. He was blunt, but I could tell he felt sorry for me. There must be something I can do, I pleaded. There are things
Hello?
I'm getting a call on Sleep.
Uh-oh. It's the ghost. It's Prue.
Oh my god!
Oh my god, 3 a.m. gone wrong. Like zoinks.
Dude, this is crazy. Oh my god.
Like,
Alright,
dude, my favorite episode from Scooby-Doo is when Scooby needed to get put down. Oh.
wait, what?
My favorite episode of Scooby-Doo is when Scooby needed to be put down.
Oh yeah, that was so epic.
Or when Shaggy went brain dead when he got shot in the face.
Oh yeah. Dude, it was Epic Gamer.
Epic
For
Gamer.
legal reasons, that's a joke. For legal... Alright, I'll continue. There are things I've heard to be back... Alright, there must be something I can do!
I pleaded.
There are things I've heard to bring back those who lost, but I've never seen solid proof. I walk. It would be irresponsible of me to tell you to do something that might get you killed, too. It's nicey, honest, but just get over him and live the status quo. Sorry if I sound harsh. I don't mean to, but you seem like a decent young lady.
Are you Scottish now?
Yes, young lady, and I don't want to see you go too soon. I asked about what Mr. Hemmings had seen. Mrs. Hemmings seen in the lift.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
I don't know what happened.
Oh.
I just randomly stopped talking, I guess.
It's the ghost!
I
Yes,
have continued for you, so...
Guys. What if we each do a different voice for a different character?
Yeah, that's what I was saying, and then he got kicked out.
Oh, well then who?
I'll be, this guy. I'll got my starter statue. Yeah.
The postman?
Yeah, the postman.
So then who's gonna be who's gonna be the
Who's
ghost?
the main character?
What? Fine.
Oh, yeah, you're back.
Fine.
Oh no, I've been creeped out.
Okay, what's the story called? I can just search for it. Just tell me what the story's called.
The previous tenant of my new flat left a survival guide. I think I'm gonna need more than just a guide.
Okay, I thought you were just...
Well,
Like, oh my god.
shut up.
Okay.
Alright, so I'll just continue while you guys are trying to get back. I asked about what Mrs. Hemmings had seen in the lift and if they were sure it happened to all who entered it. I refused to believe that Jamie was dead. There had to be something I could do, and if I knew what I was dealing with, I could be better prepared.
What the fuck are you?
It was awful what happened, but I wasn't there. But this is what I was told. Little Aya was such a cute kid. She used to open
It's
the
not
door
him
and
talking
give...
anymore. Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah, I was just...
Little
Wait.
Lila was such a cute kid. She used to open the door and give me a tip whenever I delivered the post.
See?
She was Pierre's granddaughter. Lila was her son's little girl, and that night,
I like how we're not going to
And
acknowledge Bryson
her
dying in
son's-
the background.
oh yeah, the ghosts got him, man. Isn't this so epic, gamer?
Oh, you want drinking?
Okay, continue.
Alright,
She
Lila
was-
was her son's little girl, and that night she was staying over for the first time. Jerry finally felt confident that she could protect Lila from all the strange things that happened here.
Okay.
She was wrong. Little Lila had a problem with sleepwalking, and she took a trip into the hallway at 1:30 in the morning. Jerry took a little too long to notice the sound she heard was the front door. And by the time she reached the lift, she saw all the creatures dragging Lila's limbs away from her body.
Shit.
She tried to fight them, even killed one, but she couldn't save the little girl.
Damn.
Damn!
I was hysterical. Wait, no, you read this.
Hey!
I'm only doing the dialogue of the main character.
Alright, continue.
I was hysterical, imagining Jamie's fate.
What are the creatures? Damn it, no. That was fuck. What are the creatures? Have you ever seen
That's
them?
not a girl's voice!
I am a dude!
What are the girls'
Okay, keep going.
Keep going.
Have you ever actually seen them?
Wait, what? What are you doing? I'm a dude.
Bryson talked. Alright, no one really knows what they are, my love. There's something to do with the building, and that's all. What is happening on Bryson's side?
What?
Is he crying?
Okay.
That's what it sounds
Get
like.
out.
God damn it.
Who is this?
No,
No, shut
no
up,
one
Dustin.
What is happening?
Shut up, Dustin! Dustin! Stop! Dustin!
Better figure out how to edit, jeez.
God damn it, my brother's a jerk.
You better be able to figure out how to edit.
Well, I don't.
Otherwise, you're just gonna have in the background.
What, do you think anyone's actually gonna watch a 40-minute video?
Yes, now go.
Yeah. Easily, dude.
Yeah, but for my channel of all people.
Continue.
Alright, don't continue with.
Oh hell yeah, nerds.
No one really knows what they are, love. There's something to do with the building and all its quirks. No one's ever seen them elsewhere. We don't know where they came from, just that they're here. I've seen them a few times over the years, usually when new neighbors have left their biscuits down for their cats and dogs or haven't disposed of food waste properly. They're curious little creatures, mostly harmless out of the hours Puree warned you about, but if they're fed, they can become quite vicious looking for more food.
So the gremlins.
They are gremlins, yeah. That's why you have a bin. You have to bin all your scraps, or hide them, or pack them, or whatever. Just don't leave them out, and don't use the lift at those times, and you're safe from the creatures. They're a little smaller than humans, but they're a similar shape. They come from grotesque rodent-like features, and are far longer than any rodent could be. Like rodent children, I suppose. They have 2 sharp rows of teeth per jaw, and are constantly hungry. When they eat, they crunch down in a violent and disgusting way,
Ugh.
dripping spittle everywhere. Priya said that she could hear her granddaughter's bones shatter in those jaws.
Damn.
He was pale at the thought of that, but continued. And when the first arrived in the building, there were hundreds. It caused a pandemonium amongst the residents. We lost the residents of more than 30 of the individual homes, but the residents fought back and managed to kill all but the strongest minority of them. The creatures left over were incredibly dangerous and seemingly impossible to eradicate, so the residents struck a deal that they will be left unharmed and allowed to live in the building in return for the residents' safety at all times. But if anyone wanders into the lift between 1:11 and 3:30 a.m., they are fair game. This time frame is the period that the creatures are at their most frenzied, and restricting them to the lift was safer for all parties. God help anyone who encounters them during those hours.
Damn. Rip.
Rip.
Can I get an F in the chat?
Yes.
Can I get an F in the comments?
I've been here ever since. Claimed lots of unsuspecting people avoiding the scares, but nothing like when they first arrived. A few got put down for not holding up their end of the bargain, but we haven't had an incident outside the lift in years. Count yourself lucky you missed that crisis. Everything else. What was that? F in chat. Thank you.
When he says he's gonna keep it quick.
Everything's here is pretty peaceful right now. I'm sorry about your boyfriend. I really have to go. I'm late for my round. He scrawled his phone number on a bit of paper, handed it to me. Oh, he scrawled his phone number on a bit of paper and handed it to me. Audiences only. I don't like to be bothered. You can't go. The note said you would help me. Is that her voice now? Yeah. Did I just say that? You can't go! The note said you would help me! I exclaimed. And I will, he snapped back. When there's something I can help you with, I can't resurrect your boyfriend, and I don't like to be late for even in the post. I will see you soon, love. I was in shock. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I couldn't believe he was leaving me after the information overload and the small ray of hope he had lit inside me and then squashed. I'll call the police! I shouted, desperate to feel as if if I was solving this somehow. You can try if you want inside, as he opened the door to leave. It just aggravates the creatures, and isn't gonna bring your boy back. Mr. Pretense hated when the police come to. What?
Давай просто убьем их в roof.
Okay, that's nice. I have no idea who that is.
Continue.
Mr. Pretense hates it when police come too. If you want to get any sleep in the next week, then I'd avoid it. Wait a week, report him missing, and learn to adapt to live here, love, or you'll be dead in days. And with that, he shut the door behind him. I opened it again. I had so much more to ask, but he was gone. No sign of him anywhere in the corridor.
Pause!
Maybe it was me losing my mind. I might be...
Stop!
What?
Stop. We're right back. Sorry.
Okay, I'll be back.
Yeah, I'm back.
Did he die? Dalton?
Just teleporters here.
Dalton? Dalton? Also, what happened to Tatum?
He called me and said he couldn't hear anything.
Oh. Could have said something. I always left the chat.
He came back.
No, not anymore.
Yeah, and
He's
then
left
he
the
didn't call me again, so I don't know what happened.
Oh.
Alright, continue reading.
Okay,
If you guys know
oops.
of it too, I'm gonna be crazy, okay?
That did say to pause, though. I hear him in the background.
Yeah, Sam. So, should we just wait a second?
Yeah. I'm gonna eat a granola bar. Is this epic gamer, dude?
You want to theorize about what's happening here?
Oh, sure. What is happening?
How do you think everybody just disappears? Like the window washers and like.
Because they're actually ghosts, and they are demons, and they're gonna eat you in your sleep. The window washer's gonna eat you in your sleep. No, they're just like Batman, you know? They're just like Batman.
Man, they didn't even, like, read anything in the least. They just, like, yeah, we'll take it. We'll not look at the apartment. No thanks. This is their fault. Yeah?
Is Dalton back yet?
No, but I like his profile, Game Dragon. Yo, Dalton!
Sorry, I have returned.
Oh,
Right, where were we? Where are we?
What was the last thing I said?
I have a memory of a carrot.
oh, let me see. I remember. It was like, the corridor. No sign of anywhere. No sign of him anywhere in the corridor.
Okay, maybe it was me losing my mind. I might be imagining all these things, but no matter how much I willed to the note was still there, and JB still wasn't. Georgia arrived at not long after Ian had left. I, of course, as if she had seen him in the corridor and to try and affirm to myself that he was real, but she hadn't. She looked at me worried and held me as I sobbed and told her what the postman had said about Jamie and the creatures. I wasn't sure if she believed me. Even as she read the note, she looked skeptical. If she was skeptical, I wouldn't have blamed her. But she had always been supportive. She sat with me for hours while I just sobbed, heartbroken. I was so conflicted as to what to do. It felt insane that I hadn't contacted anybody, but this note had turned out to be accurate so far, and the postman would to be trusted. Then I should write. Georgia had been my best friend for many years. She stuck up for me when I was too scared to do it for myself, and always been brave one of the two of us. I felt safe around her, so after hours of crying and despairing at the way my life had changed in a matter of days, I finally decided to take a nap. It was early evening, and Georgia was watching some TV, just there for me if I needed her. Despite the deprivation, I struggled to fall asleep. I tried to imagine Jamie's arms around me. What the heck? Jamie's arms around me, but it became a more painful reminder that they probably never will be again. Eventually, after what felt like an eternity of staring at the damp patch of unsealing, I drifted off. About 3 hours ago, I woke up staring at the goddamn damp patch on the ceiling and could hear chattering in the living room. I jumped out of bed and walked towards it. Georgia was on the sofa with a middle-aged looking woman, both nursing a cup of tea in the mouching mugs that Jamie had got me as a move-in present. My blood boiled, but it wasn't their fault. I cleared my throat to get their attention. Oh, Katie, this is Natalie. She lives upstairs. We got chatting, so I made her a cup of tea. I hope you don't mind. I looked at the dark-haired woman on the sofa, drinking tea from my cup, and nodded. Georgia was a sociable idiot with no understanding of when to not be herself. I wasn't going to lament her for it right now. It was her coping. Of course. Hi, Natalie. What flat do you live in? I tried my very best to be polite. I would have to discuss us not bringing people into my home mid-tragedy with Georgia after she had left, but until then I would be neighborly. Flat 71. It was so nice to meet you. You have a lovely home.
No!
Natalie responded. No!
Nope.
Responded. Her lips curled at the corners into a smile that wasn't replicated in her eyes or at the rest of her facial expression. She looked at me smugly with full knowledge that I was aware of the implication of what she had just said. The rules, the flat number. Every now and again, someone will knock at your door claiming to live in one of these flats and to borrow some sugar. It will seem extremely average, but you must shut and lock the door immediately. I installed 2 security bolts to avoid those frickers. I don't like to swear at my age, but they really are frickers. The previous warning echoed in my mind, and I couldn't take my eyes off Natalie. Something really was off about her. I looked at Georgia sat on the sofa next to her and noticed her sweating. Anyone in UK knows that it's been hot for a few days, but this was beyond just the ambient temperature. Her entire body was dripping. Suddenly, she began to pant. Natalie's eyes were locked to mine just like the window cleaners had been. Nothing happened before with the cleaner, except this time the rule had been broken. She was already in the flat. Georgia started to scream as her skin blistered and charred. Her hair fell from her scalp as the skin flaked and melted away from every inch of her. She was being burned alive without flame in sight. She scratched frantically at her own melting face, digging to the exposed raw flesh. The sound of a person makes when they burn alive is like no other. That will never leave me. I screamed and screamed, but no one came to my door. I tried to grab my phone to call the postman, Ian, but the wooden surface I had set it down on my burned my fingers to the touch and forced me to recoil. She was going to set the whole flat at a light. My actions need to be quicker than a phone call. I grabbed hold of the large knife I had set aside earlier when weaponizing. The handle blistered my fingers instantly, but I didn't care. I needed to get her out now and help Georgia if I could. I ran towards the dark-haired lady, dripping from my bow the closer I got, plunged the knife into Natalie's throat. She gripped it and fell to the floor. She didn't bleed like a normal human. Her insides were black. She was still moving, so I figured it probably wouldn't be long before she stood right back up and tried again. So I dragged into the hallway ready to bolt the door. As we reached the entrance of the corridor, one of the cats was waiting, hissing at her semi-conscious body. I caught her eyes fixate on it as I dumped her on the floor. I grabbed the cat, pulling him inside, wincing as its skin caused more wounds on my lower arm. Shut the door and watched through the peephole. She got up and held her hand to the wound, cauterizing it, and walked off towards the lift, as if she'd been never injured at all. I dropped the cat by that point, but every bit of naked skin it had touched throbbed and burned for at least an hour. Georgia hadn't been as lucky as Natalie with injury recovery. I anonymously called an ambulance for her. I couldn't believe she was still breathing, and she was badly burned. Her life would be the same again, but she was still alive, and for that I was grateful. It sounds awful, but I left her at the park across the road from the building, with no phone or ID. She's my best friend. I want to be there if I own up to involvement in injuries that bad they'll suspect me. I'll lose the already slim chance that Jamie might be savable. Doesn't mean I don't care about Georgia, but she's alive. I won't believe Jamie isn't until I see it. So now I'm alone again, in the flat, conflicted about what to do. I want to leave so badly, but this was mine and Jamie's first home together. If he's alive and I can save him, then I want it to be here for him to come back to. If he's dead, and the postman is right, then I don't know if I can leave his memory behind. There's only one person I think could help me right now, so tonight I'm gonna do some research, hunt down an address, and tomorrow morning I'm gonna visit Prudence Hemmings.
Shit. Oh, that's the end.
There's one more.
Who are the 2 people? So, okay, I got lost a bit. So she woke up and she took a nap and what? So, like, were there 3 people in her apartment? 3 other people?
What?
Like, there was Natalie and, Georgia.
Yeah.
Well, guys, this is the end of part 1.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
But no.
What? No, we're gonna make
Can we
more.
just record another video today and like
Yes.
post it tomorrow?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's what.
Alright, that's good.
Okay.
Never mind, I just wanted to slap
Well,
this.
that's the end of part 1. We're gonna part 2 tomorrow. This has been part 1. I mean, 4 of 5 things.